And today also we are going to start with the CSS questions because there were a lot of them which were remaining. Let me one sec. Let me open this on my mobile also because a lot of you ask a lot of questions, and that is a good thing. Okay. Okay. So let me again share my screen because I think there is a lot of CSS questions and other questions which are remaining. Okay, so this is there, and again we have this. So let me again share my screen because I think there is a lot of. So it was coming from somewhere else. Okay, so what will be the first question today? For CSS only, we're going to continue with CSS. So, what is the difference between static relative? What is the difference between static relative, absolute, and position fixed? Okay, so this is our question number 1 today. Okay, so let's get started. So, what is the difference? Okay, static. So static is by default everything. So by default everything it is a static. It will be static means the natural flow which is there. It is known as static. Okay. So let us see this through an example. So I'll have a div of one class equal to one div of two class equal to two div of three class equal to three. So this is there, and now have a bit here. Okay. Yeah. Div ph width of 300 pixel and height of 40 pixel, padding of 20 pixel, and background of yellow is there. So 1 to 3 is there, and I've given this div of this, and let us have all of this with different type of color. Okay, why it is not coming? Run it. Okay, so it is coming like this. So for one, I'll have a border of 8 8px. And one thing I will always say, always if you are going to answer interview with writing something, you will be more impressed. Okay, most of the time they will give you access to some online editors or something like that, and they will more happy that if you can going to do it with this like this. I can also say that, okay, like position, what is position absolute, what is position relative, and all. So that's the reason most of the time most of the interviews are not telephonic, they're on Zoom or something like that. Okay, so that is like that. So two, or else they will be whiteboard interviews. Red and three, maybe green. So like this. So all of these are of different colors. Okay, so that is there. Now see, by default static means the natural flow. So what is happening right now, by default it is a natural flow. So position relative. So what is the position relative? Position relative, let have a in the second one I'll have a position as relative, and top of 50 pixel, top of 50 pixel I'll do, and the second one I'll have this. So if you do it, See, it have moved 50 pixel down from the original position. What it was there, it has moved 50 position down without affecting the element. Without it didn't affected the element. Actually, 1 and 3. It didn't affected the 1 and 3. So position relative doesn't disturb its environment. Okay. So this is there. Okay. Then the position absolute, which will let us change the position of the second one only to us as absolute, and top is like this. Okay, so see now absolute, what is happening. So three moves up and one, and is it is moving like as if two doesn't exist. So let us see, means what is like this, means where is like this two, because we are not able to see everything else here. So I'll give opacity of 0.8 I'm here. So see what will happen now, opacity of 0.8 I'm here. So see, it is like 2 has moved like 50 pixel up, as if, and 1 and 3 are like joined. See, this is a line there, it is joined as if 2 doesn't exist. Okay, so position absolute does disturb this environment, that is referenced to the parent, it is referenced to the parent. Okay, so that is there. And now position fixed is like it is like a position absolute only, but it is referenced on the entire page. Okay, so position fixed I'll do and run it. And again, this is a very important interview question, very important. Okay, okay, so to see this position fixed, we have to do something. See, we cannot see this position fixed like this. Position fixed is something which will stay at the position even if you have some scroll and other things. Okay, so it will be there. So, and one more thing I will do here, like this background as like hash f2 f2 f2. I'll do save it, and let me have three a lot of times. So I want to have a scroll kind of a thing. So scroll kind of a thing is there. Actually, is have a lot of time. See, now I am scrolling it. See, it is always 50 pixel from the top, but I am able to scroll it and it will be like this. So this is the position fixed. Okay, so this is position fixed. So this is there, and now we are going to see the next portion. And this fiddle is over. So I'll do a JS fiddle, and the question is like. Again, a very important interview tricky question. What is the difference between visibility hidden and display none? This is very important question. Visibility hidden and display none. Okay, so let us understand that. So both of them will sort of, they will hide the element or something. But there is a bit of difference between them. What is the difference? Let us see that. Div and Nabendu and class equal to name and div and good evening and all. Good evening all. So upper div is visibility hidden. So I'm writing something because we're soon going to do it hidden. Upper div is visibility hidden, and then div and class equal to name 2 and div upper div is display of none. So this is like, so now both of them are shown because I have not done the visibility, hidden the visibility again. So I'll now hit the visibility. So dot name, and this will be visibility hidden, and dot name 2, it will be display none. So see, if if I run it, so both of them are not there. Both of them are not there because one for one it is visibility hidden, for the other it is display none. Okay, so but what is the difference actually? But what is the difference actually? So with this, if you can see clearly, with this visibility your hidden visibility hidden, there is elements height, but there is a empty space is been left here. Empty space has been left here, but with display name there is no empty space left here. Okay, so there is an empty space which was left here, because it is where this name was coming, this empty space is there. So you should always use display none, not visibility hidden. Visibility hidden have this problem that it will leave that empty space. So if you need that, you can do that. Okay, you don't need it. Most of the time I have seen we use display none only. So but this is a difference. Visibility hidden leaves the blank space. Okay, so that is there. Now we'll look into another thing, like what is a shadow DOM. So this is sometime which is been asked. This is sometimes which has been asked sometime. And JSfiddle, what is a shadow DOM? So what is a shadow DOM? Again, a very important question. CSS is basically global. Okay, so if you write an style for one element, it affects the other element. So shadow DOM is a way to attach hidden separated DOM to an element so that the CSS stays encapsulated. So it is a way. There are other ways are also there to hit CSS, like in ReactJS we have some ways, and all those things are there. So let us see an example for that. And here I'll have a h3 welcome to our website, and div id equal to w shadow host, and span is like this is not id, this is not rendered, and id equal to, let me write, then we'll see id equal to child, and then there is a template is there, and it will have a id equal to news widget, and here I will have a style here, right, like this. h3 color is green, and h3 news widget is there. Okay, and h3 color is blue. So color is blue is there. So let me run it. Okay, so this color is blue is been shown for this s3 welcome to a site. And now what is a shadow DOM? Okay, so come here and see. We'll have a what we are going to have, we are going to have a template which we will insert programmatically with the id of shadow host with this will insert. Okay, so let us have this thing. Let's see, it will we have to write a bit of JavaScript also for this. So this is where we write JavaScript. Let's, and this is again a very complicated question, most probably you will not get it. So some of the questions are very complicated and all. So but if you know it, means if a bit of it you know, then it is okay. You get more points. Get element by ID. But whatever I have told, when I told it's a very important question, it's a very important. Visibility hidden is a must question. So that is something which people every time ask. Okay. So I'm going to choose this thing. See, this is not rendered. So I'm choosing this thing, that element by ID, this thing, shadow host. I'm getting that. And then let shadow shadow root equal to this shadow host. So to create this shadow DOM, we have to use a bit of JavaScript. Okay. Dot create shadow root. So this is again create shadow root is again this JavaScript thing, shadow root, create shadow root. I have not written it. It is like that. It is there. Let shadow shadow child equal to document dot create element and span is there. Then shadow child dot inner html to document dot get this news widget dot inner html like this, and then shadow root dot and child is shadow child like this. So maybe this, okay, there will be some mistakes here, so that's why it is not coming. Okay, shadow child and all. Okay, 1 sec. There is some error. Create shadow root is not a function. It's shadow root. Okay, is this okay? Let us see why it is saying this thing. Oh, deprecated. Okay, okay. So ignore this question. This is deprecated. Shadow DOM thing is deprecated. So I think this is very old thing. So please ignore it. Okay, so I didn't know that this is deprecated and all. So we can ignore it. So that's why it was saying that there is nothing like that. Okay, shadow thing is there. So some of the things are deprecated. These questions I have some time back. Okay, so this is there. So then there is another thing, like this is a trick kind of a questions, and this is not a trick actually. You require to make this a lot of times in CSS, because I was doing some front-end mentor project, and there also you have to make this thing. What is this? How to build a triangle using plain CSS. This is a very important skill to have. Although you can Google it and get it how to create a triangle using plain CSS. This is a very good thing to know. Means what is the actually the technique behind this, and you can find many articles and they explain it in a very good way. Because a front-end mentor also I was doing something like this. Down triangle we have to create, and then we cannot like use anything else like that. Down triangle we have to use like this plain css. There is one other thing, I don't remember its name, but with plain css we need to do it. Okay, so I'll come here and do a div and class equal to ri angle. Then we need to create a the first thing which I have to do is to create a square box. Try, and then the ph width is 200 pixel, height is 200 pixel and background is red. So this I've created, and I run it. So it will have this like this square box. Okay. So then what we are going to do, we'll have all of its border of different color. All of its border of different color. So let us do that. So border top is 10 px solid blue, and what is like border top, border left, border right, border bottom bottom. So blue, aqua, aqua, green, yellow, like this I'll have. And then okay, so let me run it. So see this all the borders are of different color, but see one thing important, see how it is cut, so all the border I've taken out of different colors, and it is very important to see how they are cut. So now what we'll make, now I'll make the height and the width as 0. So it was having some height and the width. So if I make those things as 0, so what will happen, it will shift all of this thing will be shifted here because there is no height and width of it. Okay, so it is like this, and now we have got a triangle. So we, as you can see that we have got actually 4 triangles. Okay, 4 triangles we have got, and which one, anyone which we want to show, we can show it. Okay, so anyone which we want to show, we can show it. And this 10 pixel is actually very small. So let us make the border a bit bigger. So like 100 pixel, like 100 pixel and 100 pixel and 100 pixel and 100 pixel, so that I can see it like a big. Okay, so like this, and we have a triangle. So now just we need to do whatever triangle we want to show, that one we will leave it like that, rest of them we'll make it as a transparent. So suppose I want to show this blue one, so what I will do, this 100 pixel and all this thing needed to be there. Okay, one more thing is that we have to, okay, my bad, so we have to remove the opposite triangle. Okay, so let me show that thing, transparent. So I'll make it transparent. So transparent is also the left, transparent, right is transparent, run it. Okay, left and right is transparent, but why it is showing like this. Okay, background red is something which I have to remove. So now it will not show. So now it is not shown. So if I make this also as transparent, so it's done. Okay, this will be done, and I have got a blue triangle. Okay, I got a blue triangle. So like this you can do, means whatever you want to show, you can show like this, you can do, and different things you can do. So this, if I want to show this side triangle, then what to do. Okay, so what was this one was, suppose I want to show this red one. So red one I'll show it as green, like this, right, and I will run it. It will show like this. Okay, one more thing, if I want this triangle to be exactly at here, so what I will do, make the opposite as not as transparent. Opposite I will just comment it out, so it will move actually. So this is something which we can do. This is how we have done it. Okay, so these are the triangles are created easily. There are other ways also to create triangle. This is the most easiest way to create the triangles, and triangles are useful at a lot of places. Okay, JSfiddle I'll do again, and then now what is the thing, what are pseudo elements in CSS? What are pseudo elements in CSS? Again, a very important question is, what are the pseudo elements? Okay, so let's see what are the pseudo elements. And pseudo elements are used to give spatial effects, and sometimes the extra markup also it is there without disturbing its environment. So there is a very important pseudo element known as after and before. So you might have seen almost everybody uses it, but those who see the CSS first and they are literally confused. What is this after? What is this before? and all these things. Okay, so we'll see that. First I will have a p and I will have a hi. So then I will have a div and howdy like this, and I will have a like p. So I will use p and I will have the after like this, and in this I'll have a content and how are you, how are you I'm going to have. And then if I run it, see how are you after, it means it will be after, it is just done after. Most of the time you see the content is like an empty string that is taken for a reason. Okay, so but we can put something inside this content is meant for that one. Then I'll have a div of before and content of greetings. Greetings I'll do. Content of greetings I'll do. Run it. See, it is coming after. It is coming before actually. Not after, it is coming before. I'll run it and it is coming just before. Greetings, howdy. Greetings, howdy. Okay, so this is like this, it is coming. Okay, so okay, one of the very practical use of pseudo element is to create a tooltip. Okay, so this is not how we use it. Okay, so we can create tooltip with the help of pseudo class. Okay, so let us do that. And tooltip in the sense, okay, so let us have a button here, button, and welcome, and welcome is there, and run it. So a button will be shown after this. Okay, button will be shown after this. But button, I will have a hover property, and after it. Okay, so this is something which is button button, and when the button hover is done, so hover is done, it will, I can do anything here like this. But I want the hover property to show something, so I'll do a after, and then I'll put a content welcome to the world. I'll do run it. Now I will hover my mouse over it. See, welcome to the world. It's like expanding it. So this is not possible in the normal hover thing. Okay, so this is like a cool effect which can do with this after. Okay, so now next thing is that next question, a very important question. This is something which you will see at a lot of places. So this what are data attributes and what are its utilities? Okay, what are the data attributes and what are its utilities? I give the question here. Yeah, I gave the question here. So like this. So in HTML, if you want to store the data, you use the data attributes. And I've seen that data attributes been used in testing also. You can see in the below. We'll now see that. Okay, so I will come here and do, yeah, that is a cool stuff. Button and file and class equal to profile data dash name equal to undo and data hash. So this data is something known as a data attribute. So what is that? We are going to learn data as attribute.id equal to and undo Biswas like this I will have, and this is there. So in button I can have a dot profile. C dot profile is a class name, and in that I'll have a hover property, and in that I'll have a before like this, and in that I'll have a content and attr. and data data name. So what is this content attr data name? So let me now run it and see Nabendu's profile is coming. So this is like this. What is this data name? Instead of hard coding it like in the previous thing, hard coding it, so we can pass it through the data thing. So and we can access it by attr. So like this we can access it. So that is there. And okay. Now the next thing, what is the z index, or as the American people say, what is a z index? Not this when I'm working on JSfiddle. What is a z index or a z index? Okay, so that is there. So what is this? So z index is the property which specifies the stack in the order of the elements. So z index you will see almost in every CSS you'll use. So what happens, like if a z index is more, it will be on the top of the other one. So we can have a lot of, like, it is like a stack, one over the other, one over the other. So if something has z index of 1, it will be over something which is of z index of 0. Okay, so let us see it with an example. And here I'll have a div of a, and here class equal to a, b, c, d. Okay, so I have these things, and then dot of a, comma, dot of b, comma, dot of c, comma, dot of d. I'll have an width of 100 px, height of 100 px, position of absolute, and top of 0. So see, all of them are at the top of each other. Okay, so all of them are at the top of each other because position absolute. Now I'll have a dot a background of red, b a background of a QUA aqua, c a background of green, and d a background of yellow. It's like this. So all of them have a different background. So I'll run it. So see, so what will be shown? So the last one, which is the d, that has been shown to us. Okay, so because it is the last one and they are on the top of each other, they are on the top of each other. So now what I am going to do, I want to see all of them. So how to see all of them? Let us do a bit of left here. Left of 5px, left of 10px, and left of 15px. This I have, and I will run it. So all of these are been shown now, like C, D, and all of these things are shown. Okay, now we'll see the z index property. So z index property of all the elements, by default it is 0. By default it is 0. So we will want to see the C element now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come here and do the z index of 1. Means it is more than the rest of them. So if I run it, the C will be shown. So this is what it is there. And if we make the b, like the b, we make it the z index of 2, then try to run it. See, the b will be shown. Okay, so b is been shown like this. So this is what is all about the CSS. So now we are going to start with the JavaScript interview questions. And JavaScript, they use a lot about the var, let and var, all those things they will ask a lot. Okay, so just, so the first question in JavaScript is always the same thing. Okay. And this is also something which you always teach in our JavaScript. JavaScript also means what is there. And yeah. So instead of JSfiddle, I'll do it in JSBin now, because this is JavaScript. This is much better to do it in JSBin because I want the JavaScript and console. I don't want anything else. So here the question is, what is the difference between let, var, and const? So what is the difference here? Okay. So the thing is that var is from the start of JavaScript from 1995. Let and const were introduced as a part of ES6. And what are they? Let me tell again. I have told it a lot of time, but let me tell again. Okay. So the basically the thing is that okay, this is a long thing. But the thing is that var is a functional scope. Var is functional scope, and let is a block scope, just like any other programming language. And const is totally different. The const is something which if we define once, we cannot redefine it again. And but there is one thing: const behaves differently for array and object. So I'll give the complete answer here. I'll give the complete answer. Hosting and all, I will tell. We'll come to that. All of those things will come. Because hosting is again a very important question in JavaScript interview. Hosting people will definitely ask. Okay, so we have just started with JavaScript. So this is generally the first question, not the hosting is not the first question. This is the first question, always. Okay, so because I used to ask this question, as I've told, I've taken more than 1,000 interviews. This is the first JavaScript question I used to ask, and this is something which you'll also get. What is the difference between let, var, and const? And trust me, half of the people don't know this thing. When you ask someone, they will, okay, I'm using let and const. I don't they don't even know what is this difference is there. So they are just using let, and let. It is not like that. So the main difference is that, as I told, var is functional scope, and this was because of a mistake. Most programming language, everything should be a block scope, not a functional scope, which is not a good thing. Okay, so let us understand what is a function scope. Suppose I have a if statement, like a normal if statement. I'll do so, and I'll have a true here. So means it will always run. It will always run. It's true. So I'll have here true. Then I will have a var num1 equal to console.log inside if var, okay, inside if var, and maybe plus num1 outside if number. See, in most other programming language, what will be there? Most other programming language, this will not means this will the second one will fail outside if bar. What happens because the scope of num1 is from here till here. Scope of num1 is from here till here. Okay, not outside it. But in JavaScript, var is like a functional scope, not a block scope. So if I run it, both of them will come. Okay, both of them will come. Not a good thing again. So, and what is now the let? Let is like if like this again. I'll have a let here. Let, and let me comment this out, or else it will cause some problem. Let maybe num2. I have to num2 and 20. inside if let, outside if let num2 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 and let it run it. Okay, and so this this JS will have this issue. So okay, the second one is giving me error because the scope of let variable ends inside a scope, inside a like this, inside this it will end, the scope of it will end like this. Okay, so like a if statement, switch statement, all of those things will create a scope and it will end here, and this is a very good behavior. It happens in almost every other programming language. Everything is a block scope. Okay, but now var is a functional scope. What is exactly a functional scope? It means that we can stop the scope of a var if we wrap it in a function. So let us create a simple JavaScript function. Hope everybody knows this much because they are you all are preparing for JavaScript interview, so you should know this much. Okay, so I'll create a simple function and var exp like this I'll do. And so if you don't know what is this function and all those things, I have a very good JavaScript course which I've recently taken, 5-day course, 5-day certification course which you have every month, so you can see that. Okay, so like this I'll have here, and then I guess, and this is there. Now what I have again, var exp like this, and then and here I will write outside function var. Okay, I clear it and run it. So see this two have run, but this is giving error. It because the scope of any var can be stored with a function. So the scope of this number is from here till here. Outside it doesn't exist. So that's why it gave an error. But this is not a very good behavior. Because of this thing, JavaScript used to have a lot of issues. Means people don't know what is this functional scope and all this thing. Block scope is like from the start of programming. It is from the start of programming. Okay, so that was not an issue, but this was an issue because people don't understand. Okay, this is a functional scope, but this is the thing, var is a function scope and not a block scope. So what about const? So const is something again a very good thing. So const nowadays actually this const thing, okay, let me do one thing, let me comment this out. This const things, what happened nowadays, we use a lot. Even instead of a let, we use const a lot. Okay, so why we do this thing? Okay, let me show this thing. So const, suppose I have what I'll have name. So I cannot have like this name. So I cannot do like this. Okay, so it will give me error. I cannot do it like this. It will give me error. Okay, it will give me error. I cannot do it like this. But there is something in const which I can do. What is that? What is like I'll do a const child ages equal to maybe 12 comma 13 comma 14. So I have this 12 comma 13 comma 14. I have this all these things. Now what will happen here? I cannot again do some. Suppose I want to add one more thing here. Okay, so I cannot come here and do it like this. Child is 13, 14, 14, and then I can do a 16. So I cannot do it like this. Again, it will give me error. But the thing is that the good thing is that we never add something in an array like this. We never add it. We always add something in an array with the pushing at the end. So I'll do child ages dot push maybe 16, the same thing, and then console dot log of child ages. See, now it will give me no error. So this is something like that, it is there. This is something, it is like that, it is there. And then the next thing is that this is quite possible. This is quite possible. Okay, this is quite possible. Okay, so that is there. And so that's why these constants are so much popular, because most of the time variables you don't directly change, but in the arrays and we push at the end. So that is very possible. And objects, it is one level ahead. In objects it is one level ahead. So it is like const, suppose I have an obj equal to like maybe name comma else equal to JS. In objects, we can go one step ahead. Here, what we can do, we can add, we can change a key value pair, and we can add a new key value pair also. So obj dot skills skills equal to react and obj dot profession equal to trainer. So this is like this. I can do both of these things. Okay, console dot log and obj. I'll do like this and see now. Right, let it run it. So see, it is not giving an error, and skills means skills can be changed and the new profession can be added. So this is about your cons. So I have told about all of these things. Okay, and again, this is a very important interview question, and that is there. And now the thing is that the next interview question is always the in JavaScript. The next interview question is always after this. What is the difference between double equal to and triple equal to? Always this is the next interview question, because there is no triple equal to in any other programming language. All programming language have double equal to, and that is known as a comparison operator, but none of the programming language have triple equal to. And this is again done in JavaScript, because there was a bug in JavaScript. And as you all know, which I tell in my JavaScript course, that JavaScript was created in 10 days. It is not possible to create a language in 10 days. There is a lot of bugs, but you cannot resolve all the bugs. So this was there. Okay, so if you want to know why that was there, everything I tell in it my JavaScript course. So now, what is this double equal to and what is this triple equal to? So let us see that. So suppose I have a const was none equal to string 10, and then equal to string 10, and then if num double equal to 10. So console.log sum is string 10. So this is it. So it will give me this thing. But the thing is that in almost every other programming language, this will not run. Why this will not run? This will not run because a string 10 is never equal to a number 10. So this string is always there. The moment in any other programming language, it will see that, okay, a string is been compared with a number, it will not even compare, it will not even check what is there. But in JavaScript, when something like this has been seen, what it does the internal, means the compiler try to change it. Compiler will try to change the string to a number, and it will be successfully able to change a string 10 to a number 10. So it will compare it, and it will run it. So this is something which is there in the JavaScript, which is a very bad behavior. So now to fix this was a very big issue when JavaScript was released. So then to fix it within the next 2-3 years, and JavaScript by default, that JavaScript was released in 1995. So what happened? They figure out that it's a very big issue. So like num1, if I do this triple equal to here num, okay, or maybe const num1 equal to 20, I'll do, or not 20, like this. Again the string 20, num1 equal to 20, num1 is num1 is what I will say, num1 is okay, anyone's okay, string not number. Okay, so like this I'll do, and see if I run it, it will not show. It will not show. If I put a else part, maybe else part, whenever it is wrong, it will run. num1, maybe I'll put it like this. Num1 is string 20, maybe like this. Right, run it. So it will show this thing. It means that it was not able to successfully do this thing. So what happens when I give a triple equal to, the main thing is triple equal to, what it will do, it will like, don't go for fancy words and all. The triple equal to, the main thing is that it doesn't do any type checking and all this. It just behaves like normal thing. So what it does, if he sees that the string has been compared with a number, it will not even touch it. Just like any other programming language, it will not even touch it. So here it was just forcibly like converting it, whether it should not have been converting it, but here it will not even touch it. Okay, so that is there. Now the next question is like, mm, this is again a very important question which will be always asked. What is the difference between a null and a undefined? Okay, so let us see that. Okay, let a equal to null and let b. So this is like this. So the main thing between null and undefined is that null is something which is assigned by the user, just like I'm assigning it. And undefined, if you leave something blank, it is undefined. Both of them means one thing. Both of them means empty values. Both of them are empty values. Both of them are empty values. Null and undefined, both of them are empty values. But again, there is something else is also there, which is there. Okay, so let us see that thing, and that is like. There is a type of operator that is again a wrong thing in JavaScript. Console.log and type of a type of b. I'll do clear it, run it. See, this is coming as the object and this coming as undefined, so that is okay. Okay, so there are two things I want to tell here. One is that what is exactly a null and undefined. So null and undefined, as I have told that both of them is empty values, but null is something which is assigned by the user. In programmatically terms, we have to assign null at a lot of times, and b, like undefined, is something if you leave something blank, it will be undefined. So another thing is that very easy question, easy, like example which I always say, that you go to a college and to you fill a college form. Okay, so you fill a college form, and there is a college form, there is a field like first name, middle name and last name. So there is a middle name is there, so this middle name is there, and a lot of people don't have a middle name. So they will do two things. Either in the middle name they will fill like any, or not applicable, or a dash they will give, or they will leave it blank. So anything which they give, when the clerk, when she or he is going to see that in the computer, they are going to enter that physical form. In India it happens like that. So they are going to means put as empty only, put as empty only in the computer. So either you put any, not applicable, means I am the user, I'm putting it as null, or I'm leaving it as blank. Okay, I'm leaving it as blank, so it means empty only. So that is it. But then there is one more thing. There's a type of this can again be a question in itself. Why a type of null is an object, and type of anything, type of is an operator which gives a type of this thing. So there are another primitive types are also there. Please go through my JavaScript thing, like number, string, boolean, and six types are there. Number, string, booleans, and all those things. Okay, so that is there. But then what is, why is the type of null is a object? Again, this is because it's a bug in JavaScript, and that bug cannot be solved because JavaScript is like everything. That bug cannot be solved. That is from the earlier, because JavaScript was created in 10 days. So the developer, so the creator, so he means in 10 days he didn't sleep and created it. So that bug was left there. Okay, so that is there. Okay, so now let us okay, let us actually end it. So we'll end it here today, and we'll meet tomorrow to complete this JavaScript questions. A lot of other JavaScript questions are there, and then we have to do this ReactJS questions also and all. So that is there, and ES6 is also there. Okay, so Symbol I will not symbol nobody asks, so symbol you can check it on your own. Symbol data type is there, you can check it on your own. Okay, so symbol, just google it. Okay, so that is there, and nobody uses symbol, so and anyways nobody will going to ask you also. Okay, so that is there, and